Hello, how's it going? I guess this is just kind of random, weird, unedited video. I'm just gonna start talking for a little bit, but not for too long, because I need to go eat and go downstairs and talk. So, um, as a general thing, I've been relatively busy with school. I've had some school stuff to do. I just started. This is gonna be kind of like a documentary. It was not a documentary, like a diary entry, I guess. I'm not really sure, right? It's just gonna be like an life update of stuff that's going on, right? Um, Yeah, so I've been relatively busy with like school stuff and whatnot, but I've had a fair amount of I've had so many different ideas of things that I've been thinking, and I was maybe thinking I maybe want to transform it into content, but I don't really know how. Um, like so many different ideas. In fact, I wrote down. I gotta yawn. I was trying to avoid it, but I have to yawn. Okay. Um, I was trying to. So a lot of the things I've been randomly thinking is how to tie in video game stuff. Like it's a lot of video game related stuff, right? Like I've been thinking about like potentially thinking of like a Black Ops 2 version 2 or a Black Ops 1 version 2, right? Like it's Black Ops 2, but it's like a remix of Black Ops 2. It's not a remaster, it's a remix. And you know what? In fact, I was thinking they could call it Black Ops 2025 because it'll come out in 2025, but it takes place in 2025 in the Black Ops 2 timeline. So it's kind of like Black Ops 2 version 2. I've also been going around and playing a lot of Call of Duty like maps, Call of Duty games in custom games, playing against bots just for fun. And I realized that in a lot of cases, it's a lot more fun to play with like 75 health or so. If I can have the health be 75, it's actually pretty darn fun to play the game if you have 75 health instead of 100 health. Obviously, some things might need to be banned, like the semi-auto snipers might need to be banned because they would be too powerful. But yeah, seriously though, like I was playing Modern Warfare 2019, and that was pretty fun. That was a good one. Um, but yeah, I've been thinking about concepts for like video game stuff. I've been thinking about concepts for movies, like no, let me backtrack. Let me backtrack. Thinking about concepts for video game stuff, right? Like I want to see a video game take place in the 1950s. A shooting, like a shooter, take place in the 1950s because it almost never gets talked about. So it's going to go over stuff like the Korean War or whatever the case may be. I think there's actually what is it? A list. I had a thing that was like list of wars. List of wars. I think I gotta just look it up again. Um, list of wars in the 20th century. And it's going to direct me to this. Yeah. So after World War II and stuff like that. Um, so yeah, you got like the Korean. You got the Korean conflict, the Indonesian national revolution, and this is when I say 1950s. Sorry, I should specify between um, 1945 and 19, and it could have some World War II stuff in there too. But I don't want it to be like the generic World War II stuff. Uh, uh, like I want it to be like interesting World War II stuff that doesn't often get talked about, like the Philippines invasion of like Japanese versus the Philippines or Japanese versus Indonesia or how about the Italians versus the Albanians, the Germans versus the Yugoslavians or the Romanians? How about the Polish versus the Russians and the Germans? There's stuff like that. I would like to see like more. Or how about the African campaign, like the Italian fights, the fight between the Italians and the British in Libya, stuff like that. Anyways, yeah, Greek Civil War. I would love to see a game depicting the Greek Civil War. Um, there's a lot of different. First Indochina War, of course, obviously. Um, internal conflict in Burma, stuff like that. Like I would love to see a bunch of different conflicts that take place between 1945 and 1959, because that area never gets talked about in terms of like video games, and I think that would be nice to see. Um, and yeah, I want to see like the weaponry and stuff of the time, like the MAT 49 almost never gets talked about, but it's pretty significant of a weapon, right? Um, Yeah. And also just thinking about like a super realistic game where like it's a shooter, of course, because I like shooters, and it's like bullet damage and whatnot is reflective to real life. So like, and you have different levels of body armor, and guns cost the same. Like some guns are just straight up overpowered, but guns cost an amount relative to how much they are in real life. And what's also relevant to it is the time the gun was created and the location of the gun. So depending on where you're having this fight, you would have to pay more to import the gun based off of the distance you have to import it from. So if you're in Australia and you're buying a gun from Germany, it would cost more than if you're in like Germany and you're having the war. And it would take into account all these different factors. And I don't know how exactly you would get money, but there would be a currency system. I don't know what type of game it would be. Maybe like an open world game, maybe a battle royale, but you pay for stuff. I don't know. I haven't thought about it that much, but just an idea of having, and like I said, it would take into account different calibers and whatnot, right? So like, the heavier the gun, the slower you are. If you have two like assault rifles, it's a very long switch time because, as you can imagine, unlike it's displayed in video games, it takes a while to switch between a gun that's in your hand and on your back, and also a game that allows you to, while you're reloading a closed bolt weapon, specifically closed bolt because it doesn't work for open bolt, while you're reloading a tactical reloading a closed bolt weapon, you're able to fire the one bullet in the chamber, and then you would have to rechamber after that. Stuff like that. That'd be really cool. Also, just in general, when it comes to like an arcadey shooter like Black Ops, imagine like Black Ops 1v1, but instead you have kill streaks. Instead of kill streaks getting reset, right? Like you have a system, or score streaks, I should say. You have a system similar to how it is in Black Ops Cold War, where instead of dying and then losing everything, right? You only lose a percentage of your kill streak progress. And this is actually possible in the custom game setting of Black Ops Cold War, and it's a good idea, having it so that instead of dying and losing every bit of progress, right? Instead, you only lose a percentage of your progress. That way, it rewards people for. Oh, and the time between kills gives you a greater reward for the kills, right? Like if you get a kill and then wait 2 minutes and get another kill, you'll get less points than if you get three kills in succession. That way, it incentivizes people to not just camp and actually do stuff, but it still punishes them for dying. Stuff like that, right? And that would be nice. And I think the way they did it in Black Ops Cold War was a bit too much because it was just a little bit too easy to get early kill streaks, and way too hard to get late kill streaks. But some kind of like middle ground idea would be nice. But in terms of that, I want like a Call of Duty where we have not only more perk slots, right? So we only have 3 perk slots. Ridiculous. Give us like 5 perk slots, right? And not only that, you can upgrade your perks and replacement for other perks. So for example, you have, let's say you have a flak jacket that improves or reduces explosive damage by 20%. So instead of using a third or fourth perk, instead you would just use flak jacket 2, and that would make it so that you have even more resistance, like 35% or 40% or whatever. And then, Flak Jacket 3, which gives you even more disruption or protection. And that could be the same with Blind Eye, is like Blind Eye version 1 protects you from some score streaks. Blind Eye 2 protects you from more, stuff like that. I think that would be really cool. These are the basic ideas that have been going through my mind. I've also come up with a very preliminary shotgun concept where you hold the thing at a specific angle. I wish I could kind of pull it up, but I can't really. I mean, I could. I might put it I don't know. I'll talk about that later, but basically I created my own shotgun concept where you hold it at a specific angle, and it's really interesting. I'll point it out. And when I say shotgun concept, I mean like one that would work in real life. And basically what it does is it projects a camera. It has a camera at the front of the it has a camera at the front of the shotgun barrel, um, and on the side of the shotgun it has a and it doesn't necessarily have to be a shotgun. It's just the idea I was thinking of is a shotgun, right? It could be like a submachine gun, assault rifle, whatever, right? But um, on the side of the gun, it would have the camera angle of the camera. So the purpose of that is that you can. Oh, and it would have a laser sight, right? It would have a laser sight attached to it. And the purpose of that is that you can put your head or put your hand around a corner to see if there's people there and shoot those people too, instead of having to put your face out there, and it would make it a lot safer. Um, and obviously, it wouldn't be like super precise aiming, but it gives you a general idea, and you could pull off some shots because you have the camera feed there. And obviously, they could shoot the gun and destroy the gun or whatever, but at least they're not shooting you and killing you. Um, so yeah, stuff like that. I would like to see stuff like that. Oh, and also as part of the design, there's like a little shield, which in my little thing I made red. But there's like a shield in the front of the forward hand grip to protect your arm because obviously they might shoot your arm, so there's a little grip there that would protect your arm from getting shot. So yeah, cool stuff. I think I might go into it in a different video, but that's what's been going through my mind recently. I hope anybody watching this, especially you know who, I hope you are all enjoy this little interesting kind of update video. I didn't really talk too much about my family and other stuff, but whatever. Anyways, I will see you guys in a different video. Goodbye for now.